there's an interesting headline here this morning of one of the politicians making a push for dual citizens being banned from serving in war zones where plausible genocide happens. Now, okay, I think that's kind of targeting Israel, but at the same time, it's probably also would be used to target Russian citizens, even though it's arguable who's doing more to kill the existing population. It's interesting because Australians engaged in foreign military operations or foreign military presence varies depending on what the nation is and how much the government of the day was quite happy with you to let you go and do it. A former Australian military senior officer is heading up the military of the UAE. Now, they're engaged in operations against Yemen and whatnot. And under this law, does that stop? Does that mean they should never have been allowed to take that spot? Australians are engaged in flight training for various other nations, like Singapore tends to come down and do a lot of their flight training in Australia because, well, we've got the space for it. Australians working for BAE and other companies provide training to various nations around the place. But if you train the wrong nations, it tends to attract problems, like the former US military aviator who's currently sitting in jail awaiting deportation, who was engaged working for a South African company under contract to train Chinese aviators. Okay, well, the US got upset about that, but the question is, you've got US training or Western training of Ukrainian military. You've got training or dual citizens doing this, dual citizens doing that, of people outside or former military engaged in training of regional things. It just seems like it depends on what the politics or what the government of the day decides it likes or doesn't like as to whether or not you'll suffer the outcomes associated with it. So it'll be interesting to see whether anything further comes out of that.